Sarah Steckler here. Today I'm super excited because I have a brand new planner that has launched today, and I'm so excited to walk you through it, show you what it's about, and it's a fun new pocket list size. So this is obviously a proof copy. Yours will not have this resale ribbon at the top, but I wanted to walk you through what's inside of it. I also wanted to show you a size comparison. So I've got a couple of my other favorite journals here that are in A6 size to show you how this compares. So real quick, this is my Hobonichi 5-year, and this is an A6 size. And as you can see, this planner is 4x6. So it is a little bit thinner and a little bit taller than an A6. I'll show you again with Astrology, but it would fit in here with this, which I love so much. So it's definitely a planner that you can take with you on the go. This is also a case that I got from an Etsy seller in Malaysia, and this fits in here as well. You can definitely slide it in. So this would fit inside of any planner covers that you have that are A6. This would definitely fit inside of any of those. And then this is an A6, this is my A6 Astrology. I'll have to do a flip through of this at some point, but I basically use this for just kind of like fun lists and everything. But as you can see, this is a little bit taller than the A6 and just a tad bit, if I can line it up, just a tad bit thinner, but they definitely can go together. You could stack them in a notebook cover or a planner just fine. I think it would work just fine. So what is the Pocket List Planner? Why did I create it? What's inside of it? Why might it be something that you add to your planner library? Well, I am always on the go and my brain is really scattered. And even though I definitely have notes in my phone in Notion and things like that, sometimes it can be very cumbersome, or I seem to always be running on low battery with my iPhone no matter what I do. And it can be just really helpful to have something tangible that you can reference. So you can totally make a list, you know, in Astrology or in a Pocket Rings or something like that. I wanted a planner that would give me all of that information just laid out so that I could just know what it is and go ahead and fill it in. So that's what the Pocket List Planner is. And again, this is a 4x6 size, and I'm gonna walk you through what's included in it. It's just so cute and mini. So inside here, you've got an index, and this has all of the different pages that are included with this. And then there's also spaces in here for you to be able to write down your own lists. So there are blank lists at the back as well. But we're just gonna do a quick flip through today so I can show you what's included. So you do have a space for your current goals. So what you're working towards, things that bring me joy, peace, and fulfillment. So these are just to help you keep these front of mind. You also have space for actions to reach those goals. So again, you're kind of breaking these things down. So if your goal is to be able to run a 5K this year, then maybe what are some of the daily actions that you want to take? Maybe you want to start walking 1 to 2 miles a day as you work towards that goal. So that just helps you keep those things front of mind. Then you've also got spaces for your morning routine, your nightly routine. And what I love about this is you not only have space for these, but then you also have space for extra additional things that you might want to do. So for example, with your morning routine, you can write down the time that you typically, you know, wake up, have your coffee, any of those things. But then maybe on the weekends, like on Saturday or Sunday, or when you have more time, maybe there's additional things that you want to do. So I know for me, if I'm not rushing out the door or jumping onto a Zoom meeting, there can sometimes be additional things I want to do. Like maybe I'm making pour over coffee instead of just brewed coffee, or I'm taking extra time, or maybe I'm like going on a walk or going to an actual park before I start my day. So this is just kind of keeps those things front of mind. And again, same with your nightly ritual. So maybe you have your regular stuff that you're doing every night, and then when you have extra time, you can remind yourself of these other allowances that you can have. Then we've got lists for ongoing daily tasks, weekly tasks, stuff to unplug and unwind, and a mental health checklist. And I have went ahead and taken the liberty of adding some pre-things on here that I think are super, super helpful. And you know, we're all about mindful productivity here, so these definitely fall in line with those. So I won't go through all of these. But for example, with a mental health checklist, like maybe this is something that you reference and you do daily or a couple times a week, but it gives you reminders to, you know, do that 4-7-8 breathing exercise, do a brain dump to declutter your busy mind, identify something from all of your senses, and reduce sensory overload. So and then you can add your own in here as well, but these are things that you can come back to. So if you're going, oh my gosh, I'm having one of those days, let me flip to my mental health checklist. Then there's a section for things to keep clean and tidy. So these could be things you do daily, weekly, and monthly. And I've given you a couple ideas here. And then go to meals. I cannot tell you how often I am just tired of having to think up meal ideas. So these can be really helpful for just writing down like your go-to meals. When you don't want to think about it and you want to know what's good, what you're always happy to eat, these can be really helpful. So there's a place for breakfast, lunch, and snacks. Dinner, stuff that guests like will totally love. Like maybe you've got a lasagna recipe that's killer that you're like, I know, no matter who comes over, they're gonna love it. Dessert, and then road trip snacks. So it's just helpful. And again, what you're doing by making these lists is you're helping take some of the mental energy off of your plate. So even if you know these things in your mind always, like these aren't new ideas per se, you're not gonna have to go searching in your brain for them. You'll be able to find all of them in here, which makes it that much easier. Then there's lists for your packing list essentials, what you definitely always want to take on trips, what's in your go bag. For me, a go bag is like everything I need when I want to like go to the park. Like all of a sudden the rain has lifted, my bulldog needs a walk, and I want to do some planning outside. Here's what's in my backpack for that trip. And then a joy bag. This is just something that I think is really fun. Like I often will think of, you know, if all of a sudden, you know, something happened and we had to evacuate and go live on another planet or something, right? Like totally fantasy. Not something I want to have happen, but you know what I'm saying. Then what would be in my joy bag, right? Like what are the things that bring me joy? And like just go nuts here. So for me, these things would be like some of my favorite books and journals, pens, highlighters, maybe my Nintendo Switch, just things that really are unique to your hobbies and interests. You've also got a place here for a wish list. So just keeping track of things you want, whether it's an actual thing that you can buy or not. You've got a space for what the cost is, where to buy it, and a checklist. And this can be helpful too, because then at the end of the year, if you have family members that might buy you birthday or Christmas or holiday presents, then you can refer to this and let them know what you're wanting. Another happy list, again, moments that I'm grateful for always. So just coming back to these things when the world feels like it's burning and ending, it can be so helpful to have a happy list to come back to. Things to remind you that there's good in the world and there's good people, and that you can kind of sink into this for a little bit. Some TBR lists, pretty self-explanatory for those pages. Movies and shows that you either want to watch or are watching, so you can keep track of that. Content I love, so these could be podcasts, even Instagram accounts that you love following, all that kind of stuff. Important phone numbers from people. It is not the 90s anymore, and I don't know many people's phone numbers by heart. So if I lost my phone, it would be really important to have those actually written down somewhere. And then an online order tracker, so keeping track of things that you're ordering, the store that you ordered from, and then like when the order's been placed and delivered. Sometimes, you know, you have to follow up and make sure everything is where it needs to be. Household inventory, this could be stuff like, for me, I'm always like, are we running out of toothpaste? We have 2 different bathrooms that my husband and I use, so I'm always like, you know, are there certain things that we need? Are we running low? So that can help you keep track of that. You've also got a page here for the mindful productivity cycle that I've developed and how that works, and then a mini project planner page. So again, this is just space to write down maybe something that you're working on that you want to keep top of mind, and maybe this is a project that requires things for you to do when you're out and about, like certain things you need to shop for or look out for or research. And you've got these pages. You've also got some pages for running task lists. Again, just more pages to kind of write down things you're working on or remember. And then you've got some blank pages, and you can use these so many different ways. You could use these for specific weeks, like maybe you've got a busy week and you need to map out stuff. You could also do this for like time blocking. So maybe, you know, in fall quarter, you have a specific schedule that changes. You could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? All that kind of stuff, and then write down like what you have going on those days so you remember. But you could also use this a ton of other ways. So you show me how you end up using these pages. There's quite a few of them. Then you've also got a mini idea and brain dump section. So there's a couple different brain dump little templates over here, and then a place to write down what's on your mind or ideas to come back to. So again, this one, like for example, says to change, to start, to research, and this one says to buy, to make, to consider. So just some places there to do a brain dump. And again, these can be things that maybe you have this book with you. So if you're waiting at the doctor's office or to pick up your kids, or you're at a park and you need to do something, you've got some brain dump pages. You also have some grid pages in here. And then you've got a little section to declutter and reset your mind. So I walk you through how to go through that process. And you've also got some line pages here, so you can kind of write that out. Also got 40 truths to nourish your mind. I do have a free printable version of this as well. I will link below, but that's in here for you to check on. And then you've got some seasonal bucket lists. So things that you want to do in fall every year, and then you can highlight the categories here. Again, every season is included. And then some annual dates that maybe you want to remember. And I will probably use like one of these every year, right? So, because things may change. And then some spaces for important info. And then in the back, you have spaces for your own lists. And again, there's page numbers throughout, so you can add these to the index. But that is the planner, and there's also a pen test in the back, so you can test your favorite pens and highlighters. But this is a 4x6 planner. Again, I love it. It's so tiny, and it's been fun to create something this size. And let me know if you do have questions, but it is now available on Amazon, and you can grab yours. I would love to see how you use this out in the wild, and thank you so much for visiting this channel and for watching. Talk soon.